We invite all fans of mystical fiction to continue listening to the next part of the story, the patron behind the Demon Sect Saintess. Part 3. The Covenant in the Darkness and the Price of Not Kneeling. The night forest gradually swallowed the last traces of light. The canopy closed behind them like a massive gate, completely cutting off any path of retreat. Lu Chen walked half a step behind Mo Bingyao. Neither too close nor too far, close enough to clearly feel the pressure emanating from her aura, yet distant enough not to be mistaken for a mere follower. He said nothing, only silently observing each of her steps. Her pace was steady, producing no unnecessary sound, as if the darkness itself was moving within the darkness. In Lu Chen's mind, every detail of the original story was being replayed, but this time, he was no longer reading it as a spectator. He was stepping directly into a deadly game where the pieces had already been arranged. According to the plot, the mountain ravine ahead was where Mo Bingyao would be ambushed. 4 righteous experts would coordinate a formation under the pretense of eliminating evil and defending the righteous path, when in truth, they intended to use the opportunity to kill a saintess who had become increasingly difficult to control. In the original story, she survived, but at the cost of severe injuries, which only made her temperament colder and more ruthless. Lu Chen knew this was the critical turning point, not only to prove his words, but also to establish his place in the eyes of the woman walking ahead of him. When the ravine came into view, the air around it had completely changed. The wind no longer blew, the insects fell silent, and the spiritual energy moved sluggishly as if being choked by something unseen. Mo Bingyao stopped, without turning back, her voice cut through the night, cold and sharp. Are you certain? Lu Chen nodded and replied briefly. At the Z hour. She paused for a moment, then continued forward without the slightest intention of avoiding it. That made Lu Chen's heart tighten slightly. This was not recklessness, but absolute confidence in her own strength. He understood, if his words were false, even 10 lives would not be enough to pay the price. The moment they stepped into the ravine's range, the spiritual energy in the air shifted instantly. A razor-thin trace of killing intent brushed past Lu Chen's scalp, forcing him to instinctively tilt his body aside. In the very next instant, a streak of sword chi tore through the air where he had just been standing and slammed straight into the rock wall behind him. Mo Bingyao showed no sign of panic. She merely let out a faint laugh, a chilling smile that sent shivers down one's spine. They're here. 4 figures emerged from 4 directions, their righteous auras surging as sword lights intertwined. The formation closed in like an iron cage. A male voice rang out, carrying a facade of false righteousness. Mo Bingyao, today is the day you die. She stood at the center of the formation, her black dress swaying gently, her gaze completely unmoved. Her voice was calm as she replied. Just you? Lu Chen stood at the edge of the formation. His heart pounded, yet his mind remained exceptionally clear. In the original story, he did not exist at this moment. But now, he was here, and he could not stand still. He took a deep breath and stepped forward half a step, his voice cutting through the night. This formation has a weakness. One of the 4 turned toward him and sneered coldly. A piece of trash dares to speak? Lu Chen didn't look at him. His eyes were fixed only on the flowing lines of spiritual energy in the air, each strand as clear as if it had been drawn inside his mind. Southwest, he said slowly. The flow of spiritual energy is half a beat slower. Mo Bingyao glanced at him, a flicker of light passing through her eyes. Without the slightest hesitation, she struck. The battle erupted in an instant. Sword lights clashed, spiritual energy exploded, and the ravine trembled violently. Lu Chen retreated, avoiding the center of the fight, but his eyes never left the formation. He knew he was weak, knew that even a single aftershock could kill him, but he could not afford to miss a single detail. When the formation wavered, Mo Bingyao seized the exact moment. She shattered one corner, her sword sweeping through the air as blood sprayed into the night. A scream rang out, then abruptly fell silent. The remaining 3 changed expression, attempting to retreat, but it was too late. As the formation collapsed, Mo Bingyao stood amidst the bodies, her breathing perfectly steady. Only a few drops of blood had splattered onto her pale, cold cheek. She turned to look at Lu Chen, her gaze sharp enough to pierce through him. You didn't run. Lu Chen replied, his voice hoarse but steady. Running would still mean death. Staying, at least, gives me a chance. A brief silence lingered. Then Mo Bingyao smiled, this time, with a trace of genuine interest. You're not like the others, she said, but that's not enough. She raised her hand, spiritual energy coiling as an overwhelming pressure crashed down, forcing Lu Chen to drop to one knee. His bones creaked under the strain, blood rising to his throat. Mo Bingyao stepped closer, bending down to look straight into his eyes. The ones I hate most, she said coldly, are those who think they're clever, Lu Chen gritted his teeth, forcing his voice through the pain. I never thought I was smarter than you. Her eyes narrowed. Then what are you relying on to stand here? Lu Chen panted, each word dragged out as if torn from his lungs. On the fact that I know you won't kill me right now. The air froze. The pressure on him neither increased nor lessened. Mo Bingyao stared at him for a long moment before speaking slowly. Go on. Lu Chen closed his eyes briefly, then opened them again, his gaze unwavering. Because I don't beg, I don't betray, and I know my worth. She let out a faint laugh. Your worth? I know the traps you'll face. Lu Chen said, I know who will betray you. I know which opportunities belong to you, and I know how to keep you from dying the way fate has written. Mo Bingyao straightened, the pressure vanished, and Lu Chen collapsed onto the ground, coughing as blood soaked into his sleeve. She looked down at him from above, her voice lower now. What do you want? Lu Chen lifted his head and answered without hesitation. A covenant. On what grounds? On the grounds of someone who has no way back. Mo Bingyao fell silent. The night wind began to blow again, carrying the faint stench of blood. At last, she extended her hand. A pitch-black sigil appeared in her palm, emanating an ancient aura. A master-servant covenant, she said. I am the master. You are the subordinate. I will not protect you unconditionally. But as long as the covenant remains in effect, no one may kill you, except me. Lu Chen looked at the sigil, then raised his head to meet her gaze, his eyes unwavering. One more condition. Mo Bingyao frowned. You dare to bargain? No, he replied. I simply want to live a little longer. She gestured for him to continue. I do not kneel, Lu Chen said slowly. I stand behind you, not beneath you. The air seemed to freeze once more. Mo Bingyao looked at him, long and deeply, then the corner of her lips curved slightly. Fine, she said. I like those who do not kneel. The sigil shot forward, engraving itself into Lu Chen's hand, the pain like his soul being set ablaze. He gritted his teeth and endured it without making a sound. When the sigil faded, the covenant was sealed. Mo Bingyao turned and walked ahead, her voice drifting back from the front. Follow me. Lu Chen pushed himself up, his body trembling, yet his eyes burned with intensity. He knew that from this moment on, he was no longer cannon fodder. He was a living piece on the board. And one day, this piece would not only stand behind, but would be strong enough to bear the collapsing sky on the shoulders of the woman walking ahead. The Demon Sect was not what people in the outside world described, at least. Not like the rumors spread by the righteous path, claiming it was filled only with blood, demonic energy, and mad laughter. As Lu Chen followed Mo Bingyao through the night forest, crossing 2 mountain ranges and descending into a narrow ravine like a wound carved into the earth, he finally understood. The most terrifying thing about the Demon Sect was not its appearance, but the feeling of being seen through completely. There was no grand gate, no signboard, nothing to display authority in a showy manner. Only jagged black stone pillars stood upright like the fangs of a beast. Covered in moss, the wind passing through them with a hissing sound like breathing. At the center of the ravine lay a thick gray mist. The moment spiritual energy touched it, it was swallowed whole, like a bottomless abyss. Mo Bingyao stepped straight into the mist without turning back, tossing a cold warning over her shoulder. Stay close, get lost, and you die. Lu Chen replied, I have no intention of dying early. He tightened his grip on his bundle and followed. The moment he stepped into the mist, a chilling cold spread through his entire body. His ears rang as if submerged deep underwater. His vision blurred, and his sense of direction twisted. He gritted his teeth, forcing himself to keep his breathing steady. He knew this formation specialized in trapping the panicked, the more fear one felt. The deeper they would be dragged into an endless loop, with no escape. Within the mist, whispers circled around him, sometimes near, sometimes far, as if someone stood right beside his ear, reciting the most humiliating moments of his life. Trash, rejected, cast out of your clan, no one needs you? Lu Chen heard them clearly, but he did not react on instinct. Instead, he spoke calmly, as if conversing with himself. Yes, that is the truth, but the truth cannot kill me. Immediately, the whispers changed tone, turning sharp and venomous. What do you rely on to live? On her? She will kill you soon enough. Lu Chen let out a soft laugh, neither joyful nor angry. If she wanted me dead, I would have died in the ravine. An invisible pressure swept over him, trying to force him to collapse. He resisted it with sheer will, and with a cold detachment he had learned from his past life. No begging. No self-pity. In that very moment, he felt the covenant sigil on his hand grow hot, like a tether pulling him forward. And then, the mist parted. Before Lu Chen lay a vast valley. Sheer mountain cliffs rose like towering walls. and above them hung black lanterns, their pale green flames flickering. The air carried a faint scent of incense mixed with metal, strangely clean. Below stretched a complex of dark gray structures, curved roofs, stone walls, arranged like a massive formation. The pathways twisted like serpents. There were not many people moving about, but each one carried a sharp, dangerous aura. Their gazes swept over Lu Chen like thin blades, without a word. It was enough for him to understand one thing: he was an outsider. Something new, and in this place, something new would either be used, or crushed. A man in a black robe stood guard near the entrance. Upon seeing Mo Bingyao, he lowered his head. Saintess. Then he glanced at Lu Chen, a smirk curling on his lips. A new toy? Mo Bingyao did not slow her steps. A person. The man scoffed. A person, or a corpse? Before Lu Chen could respond, Mo Bingyao's voice turned icy. If you want to find out, I permit it. The man immediately fell silent and stepped back half a pace. As Lu Chen passed by, he tilted his head slightly and spoke in a voice as light as the wind. My thanks, for not trying. The gatekeeper watched him go, his eyes darkening, but he did not dare say another word. Part 3 of Chapter 1 of the Backing of the Demon Sect Saintess comes to an end here. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.